Assalamu alaikum, sisters. Let me ask you something. What did you say to yourself the last time you made a mistake? Did you call yourself stupid or lazy? Did you call yourself a bad mother or a failure? Because here's what I need you to know. The words that you say to yourself are like a spell. Your brain listens and it obeys. Today, we're going to be talking about self-love. Not the Instagram, bubble bath, self-care nonsense, okay? But real self-love. The kind that transforms your marriage, your motherhood, your da'wah, and your entire life. This is Module 3 of the Heartful Awakening Plant methodology. This is the leaves stage, listening to your inner wisdom. So let's dive in. In the next 45 minutes, we're going to be covering why you can't pour love into others when you are running on self-hatred, why happy mothers raise healthier kids, and why perfection is a trap, how the Prophet ﷺ never insulted himself, and why that matters for you, why your inner voice might not even be yours, and how to change it, how the words you say to yourself literally shape your aura and your energy, why upgrading your identity requires upgrading your circle, the hadith on solitude versus bad company versus good company, and how to accept your shadow side and stop hiding who you are. This is about becoming the leaves, listening to your inner wisdom, your intuition, honoring your authentic self, and elevating your identity. So let's go. For those of you who are new here, we're in Module 3 of the Heartful Awakening Plant methodology. Module 1 was the roots, being deeply anchored in Allah through tawakkul, through reliance upon Him, surrendering. Module 2 was the stem, sovereignty, authenticity, autonomy, reclaiming yourself, and stopping the 4 M's. Now we're in Module 3, the leaves. This is all about listening, awareness, listening to your intuition, listening to your inner voice, and making sure that that inner voice is actually yours, not the voice of everybody else who ever belittled you, put you down, criticized you. This is deep work. So let's begin. Firstly, I'm going to be talking about self-love because you can't pour love into other people when you hate yourself. So I've heard people say that they're uncomfortable with the idea of self-love, like it's something selfish, but having self-love is essential. It's actually critical in order to have a higher quality of life. In order to enjoy your life, you need to love yourself to some degree. You have to. Okay? Self-hatred is going to keep you down. It's going to keep your energy heavy. All right? It's going to keep you stressed and anxious. Okay? Self-loathing people don't have positive energy. Okay? It's not being humble. Hating yourself is not humility. Okay, there's pride up here, then there's humility over here, and then self-hatred is even below humility. Okay, it's even worse. It's like you're not even at a healthy level at that point. Okay, and that's why I'm talking about self-love, because we want to get ourselves up to par, right? It's not about saying, oh, I love myself so much, I'm better than everybody else. No, it's I love myself and I love everybody and we're all equal. I'm not better than anyone. I'm not worse than anyone. I am me and I love me, right? Because God loves me. Allah loves me. And so I love me too. Okay, because the truth that no one tells you is that you can't give what you don't have. And so when you don't love yourself, how do you expect to love other people? Right? It's just not gonna work. Okay, you can't give something that's not inside of you. And yes, you can pull love from Allah, right? Receive love from Allah, but then that should translate into love for yourself, love for your own essence. Okay, because if you hate yourself, you're going to be pouring resentment into other people. That hate is going to overflow into others without you even noticing it. It's not even intentional. And then all of a sudden you find yourself insulting your kids and insulting your husband and putting him down and finding all the flaws in him and everybody else around you, right? And now you're like, oh my gosh, my marriage is terrible, my kids are rebelling, and all this is, right? Your life is starting to fall apart. But it's because of your inherent self-loathing. If you're harsh with yourself, you're going to be harsh with others. If you're critical of yourself, you're going to be critical with others. Okay, and that's why I said that the way that you see yourself is evident in your aura, in the energy that you put off when you enter a room, when you're in your home even, right? Your kids can feel it, your husband can feel it, everyone can feel it. If you belittle yourself, you're going to also belittle others. Even if you try not to say it, you're going to feel it, right? Because when your mind works in a critical way, it can't only criticize you. Once your brain is wired that way to find the flaws, because you're so used to finding the flaws in yourself, it can't change for other people. That's when you start becoming judgmental and you're like, how did I end up so judgy? Like, I didn't used to be like this. Well, yeah, it stems from you. It stems from within. Okay, and why this matters for your marriage is that you think that if you're selfless, then you're helping other people, right? You think that it's a good thing to sacrifice yourself because, oh, but it's for my family, But no, they don't need that exhausted version of you. They need a healthy, happy version of you. That's what they actually need, right? And so that's why you need to take care of yourself. Because when you start sacrificing yourself and martyring yourself and you're doing things that you really don't have to do, but you feel like you should, you feel like you must, and you're overextending, you're caretaking for other people who don't really need caretaking, then you're going to have resentment. You're going to have bitterness. You're going to be like, why is everything on me? Why isn't he doing his part, right? But taking care of your own needs is on you, right? It's not on him. It's not helping anybody when you aren't taking care of you, when you're not filling yourself with love. You're not helping anybody by being self-critical, and you will not improve that way. You might think, oh no, if I keep complimenting myself and I keep talking positive to myself, then I'm going to be so full of myself, right? Then I'm going to start being mean to others. But it's actually the complete opposite. The nicer you are to yourself, the nicer you'll be to others. The more you take care of yourself, the more you can take care of others. Because you can't be a loving wife, a soft wife, when you're running on self-hatred. When you love yourself, you overflow with love for him, for your kids. That's how you emanate that light, happy glow, where everybody around you can feel it, right? Not only will you be able to love better when you love yourself, but when you love yourself, he also loves you more, right? Because you're teaching your husband how to view you. In fact, you teach the world how to view you by how you view yourself, because other people can sense how you view yourself. That's why when you look at somebody, you know right away if they have high or low self-esteem. You could see it in their posture. You could see it in their facial expressions. You can see it in the exhaustion. You can look in their eyes and feel it, right? But it changes based on your self-talk, right? And you don't have to be perfect in order to love yourself. You don't need to be perfect in order to talk good to yourself, because nobody's perfect. And nobody needs you to be perfect either. Your kids don't need you to be a perfect mother. They need you to be present. They need you to be present with them. But how can you be present with them when you're spiraling in anxiety? When you're beating yourself up for every mistake? Then you're not present. You're living in your head, spiraling in shame. Right? A mother who is gentle with herself, she can be gentle with her child. A mother who forgives herself, she can forgive her child's mistakes more easily, right? And children need that. A mother who loves herself, she teaches her child what self-love looks like. Because kids pick up on these things. When you're constantly putting yourself down, your kids will start putting themselves down. Your self-esteem directly impacts the self-esteem of your children. When you are confident, your kids will be confident. They'll be like, yep, that's my mom. And I'm so proud that she's my mom. You know, I remember I used to run a forest school back in Canada, and my kids felt like celebrities, like it's my mom, she's the one who's running this, you know? Like kids, they love to see you thrive. It makes them so happy. It lights them up from the inside. And so even your kids deserve this. You know, some women, they ask me like, why should I work on myself? Like, I'm not worth it. Like, who cares? Like, your kids care. Your kids need you healthy, right? They love you. They need you. They want to see you shining. They want to see you radiant. They want to be proud of their mom because it boosts up their sense of self-worth. And how you treat yourself is how your kids are learning to treat themselves. If you call yourself stupid, they're going to be calling themselves stupid, right? If you shame yourself for your mistakes, they're going to shame themselves every time they make a mistake. Every time they're not perfect, they're going to feel like less than because they are learning your behavior. Monkey see, monkey do. You are modeling self-talk to them every single day. They are watching you. They watch how you react when you make a mistake. They watch how you talk to yourself. They watch how you dress. They watch how you take care of yourself, especially daughters. They're gonna be copying you, all right? And your sons are gonna likely find spouses that are similar to you. Your kids don't need you to be perfect. They need you to be present, and you can't be present with them when you're drowning in self-hatred. Another aspect of being happy and loving yourself is that it affects your da'wah. It affects how other people see you, because people are attracted to joy. People are attracted to positivity. If you are miserable and bitter and exhausted all the time and you look fatigued on your face, then nobody's going to want what you have because your life is your da'wah, right? This is how you are the one representing Islam when you go out, right? When people know you're Muslim, they see that you are Muslim and they are learning about Islam through you, right? And so the non-Muslims will ask themselves, like, if Islam is really the truth, then why are these Muslim women so miserable? Because they're watching how you live. They're not just listening to what you say. You can prove them through all the kalam and evidences that you want that God exists and Islam is the truth. But when they see how you live, they see your energy and your aura. That's what they're going to judge by. That's just human nature. So when you're happy and you're radiant and you're optimistic and you're positive and you are loving towards yourself and to others, you're at peace, right? And then that's when people are going to ask, like, what does she have that I don't? And now your joy is becoming a testimony of truth. Your peace is the proof that Islam is a religion of truth and peace, and it makes you happier, right? And Islam is meant to make you happier, right? If you look at the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right, he never spoke down about himself. He never belittled himself because that's not humility. That's humiliation. Instead, he used to smile. He was radiant because your radiance is the da'wah. It becomes the da'wah. That's what invites people to Islam. The best da'wah is a woman who is thriving. She is rooted in Allah. She is joyful and she's at peace. She's not perfect, but she is present. She's not fake. She's authentic. Your life is your da'wah. If you're miserable, bitter, and exhausted, no one wants what you have. So be happy, because that is the best invitation to Islam. Another important point about self-talk, the things that you say to yourself, your inner dialogue, is that the words that you say to yourself are a spell. Your brain listens to what you tell it and it obeys. Okay, because your subconscious mind does not know the difference between truth and lies, opinions and facts. It believes whatever you tell it. So if you say, I'm so stupid, I'm dumb, I never get things right, your brain says, oh, okay, you're stupid. And now it looks for evidence. It looks for evidence that you're stupid, and it starts finding all the reasons why you're stupid. Right? And not only does it look for the evidence, but now going forward, your behavior is more likely to prove that more, right? Because now you're believing it, and so you're becoming it. On the other hand, if you say, I'm capable, I can do this, I am competent, I am skilled, I'm able to do this, then your brain says, okay, you're capable. And then it looks for evidence of, wow, you did that right. Oh yeah, and you remembered about that appointment. And yes, you did really good at that, right? Like now, because the words that you say, your brain takes seriously, right? Not only that, you're shaping your identity based on what you tell yourself, okay? Because your brain has what's called a reticular activating system, your RAS. And the RAS filters reality based on what you have told it to look for. So you are programming your brain with every word that you say to yourself. Okay, the words that you say to yourself, whether they're thoughts, whether you say them out loud, but just the fact that they're there, they are casting a spell over your reality, and they are shaping your energy. Your thoughts are what create your aura, which is why controlling your thoughts is so pivotal if you want to be somebody spiritual who can elevate and inspire others. It all starts with your thoughts, because people feel what you believe about yourself. For example, if there's a woman who says, I'm unlovable, right? I'm not enough. I'm never enough. Nobody loves me. Okay, when she walks into a room with that energy, people, they respond to that energy without her saying a word. And then she gets confirmation. You see, I am unlovable, right? But it's because you're exuding that energy now. On the other hand, a woman who says, I'm worthy of love, everybody loves me, I'm filled with joy, I'm special, I'm loved, I'm appreciated, I'm authentic, and she feels good about herself. Now, when that woman walks into a room with her energy, people are going to respond differently because they sense it. This is someone important. Wow. And she gets confirmation then. Like, you see, I am loved, because everybody wants to be around her. Everybody wants to talk to her. Everybody wants to be around her. She's magnetic, because when you love yourself, you become attractive to others. You become magnetic. People want to be around your energy, right? But it starts with what you say. The words you say to yourself are a spell. Your brain listens and obeys. So choose your words carefully. And remember, as a believer, you have dignity. Okay, you have been chosen and honored by Allah with iman, with faith. You are a Muslim. So do you understand what that means? You've been given the greatest gift, which is Islam. And so if Allah honored you, why are you dishonoring yourself by the way that you speak to yourself? Allah chose you. Allah guided you. Allah loves you. So why would you call yourself worthless? Okay, this is disrespecting Allah's choice. Because when you insult yourself, you're saying that Allah made a mistake, that Allah created something that was defective, right? When you hate yourself, you are hating His creation, because you are a part of nature. You are beautiful. Allah created you intentionally, deliberately, perfectly as you are. When you are belittling yourself, you're dishonoring His trust in you. You're dishonoring the very human being that Allah chose to create, right? And this is why it's so important to love yourself, just like you love animals and you love things that are beautiful. Like, you are part of that. You are that too. And it can come from your childhood conditioning. Maybe you were belittled and criticized so much as a child, you started doing it to yourself. But that doesn't mean that it's okay. It doesn't mean that it's healthy. And it does not mean that any of those things are true, right? The change begins with you. It is in your control to change the trajectory of your life. Just because you came from a rough childhood, just because you had neglectful parents, it does not mean that you are now sentenced to a life of misery. It is in your control to change it. It is in your control to start treating yourself with the love and the honor and the dignity that you deserve. Allah wants you to live in dignity. The Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala anhum, they lived in dignity. Right? No matter what they had, they carried themselves with honor. They would never disrespect themselves, okay? Because that would be humiliating. It's humiliating to talk down to yourself, to criticize yourself, to bully yourself. And yes, maybe you were treated that way in the past, but that time is over now. That time is over. So don't shrink yourself. Don't insult yourself. Carry yourself with the honor of being chosen by Allah. The Prophet ﷺ never insulted himself. A believer has dignity. You are chosen by Allah, so act like it. And it's important to note that the voice inside of your head might not even be yours. It might be an echo of somebody from your childhood, right? If you were belittled and criticized and insulted again and again and again repeatedly as a child, then that voice eventually became your inner voice, right? Because that's what naturally happens. And again, this is why it's so important how we talk to our children, because the words that we say to them, the way that we speak to them, the tone that we speak to them in is going to be their inner voice when they grow up. Okay? So the voice that you have is telling yourself, oh, I'm so lazy, I'm so this, I can't do anything right, I'm a failure, I'm good for nothing, right? That could have been your parents' voice, a teacher, an older sibling's voice, or a bully, right? But it's not yours. You adopted it. Okay? For example, if your mother used to say, you're so lazy, you're scatterbrained, you're disorganized, you're always a mess, right? Now you say those things to yourself. Oh, I'm so lazy. Oh, I'm good for nothing. Oh, I'm scatterbrained. I can't do anything right, right? But that's her voice. It's not yours, okay? And the good news is that it's up to you to change it because you're an adult now, okay? So you get to choose your inner voice. You get to choose the words that you're telling yourself, okay? So I'm going to go through 3 steps on how to change the voice inside your head. First, you've got to be aware and you have to notice it. Okay, notice the voice. When you catch yourself saying something harsh, pause, stop, and ask, whose voice is this? Where is this coming from? Is it your mom, your ex, your father, a teacher, a sibling? Who is it? Who used to say that to you? And number 2, step 2 is rejecting it. Say it out loud. That's not my voice. I reject this. No, I am not a failure. This is not me. I'm not saying this to myself. Because you don't have to carry that voice anymore. You don't have to. Okay? Step 3 is you replace it. You choose what you want to say to yourself. How do you want to speak to yourself? You could say, instead of saying, oh, I'm a failure, you say, I'm learning. I'm becoming. I am growing. I'm improving. I'm doing my best. I'm upgrading my identity. I am worthy. I am loved. I am chosen by Allah. I am loved by Allah. Okay? But this takes practice because you've been saying the old script for years now. Okay? So it's not going to change overnight. But with repetition and practice, this new voice is going to become your voice. Your inner voice might not be yours right now. It might be the voice of everybody who ever belittled you. But now you're an adult and you get to choose your new voice. And the cool thing about changing your inner voice is that now your energy changes, your aura upgrades, right? It becomes inspiring to others. Okay, because what you say to yourself, it becomes apparent outwardly because energy is real, right? You felt it when you walk into a room. Some people have this light, right? You see them and it's like you can see the nur on their faces. And other people, they have this heaviness about them, right? Like when you're around them, it feels heavy and dark like a cloud, right? You can feel a person's energy before they even speak just by looking at them, just by sitting next to them, okay? But where does that energy come from? It can come from their connection to Allah, but it also comes from your inner dialogue and what you believe about yourself. The words that you're constantly saying inside of your head, your thoughts, right? If you're constantly saying, oh, I'm so ugly, right? You're going to radiate insecurity. If you're constantly saying to yourself, oh, I'm so dumb, oh, I'm stupid, you're going to radiate self-doubt, which people can feel. If you constantly say, I'm not lovable, I'm not worth it, right? You're going to radiate desperation because you're going to be desperate for the love that you don't feel like you're deserving of. Okay? And people feel all of this. On the other hand, if you're constantly saying, I'm worthy, I can do this, right? You radiate confidence. When you say, I'm capable, I'm competent, I'm able to do this, I can overcome I can overcome anything. I've dealt with more difficult things in the past. This is nothing. I've got this, right? That's when you radiate strength. And when you say to yourself that I am loved by Allah, Allah loves me. I don't have to earn His love. I am that source, right? I am one with Allah. He loves me and I feel it. That's when you radiate peace. And people feel all of this too. And your aura, the aura that you have around you is like an advertisement, because people respond to your energy, not just the words that you say. You can say all of the right things, but if your energy is saying I'm worthless, then that's what people are going to leave feeling. Okay? And this is why the fake it till you make it doesn't work if your thoughts haven't changed. Okay? You can try to act differently, try to act confident, but if you keep putting yourself down inside, it's not going to work. You can't fake energy, right? Your subconscious always leaks. Okay, so you have to believe it internally first. You got to change your thoughts, change your beliefs. Okay, so how to shift your energy? The first step is changing your inner dialogue, okay, which we covered. The next thing, number 2, you need to surround yourself with people who are going to uplift you. Okay, we're going to cover more on this in the next section. Okay, being with positive people or negative people, it's going to affect your energy. And the third way is you got to dress in a way that makes you feel elevated. Because when you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, your energy shifts instantly. Okay, and it's not vanity to look good. It's strategy. Okay, you want to be your highest self. And as a woman in Islam, you are rewarded for taking care of your outer appearance. The words you say to yourself reverberate outward and become apparent in your energy, in your aura. People feel what you believe about yourself. Okay, and 30% of how you see yourself is based on the people around you. Okay, according to Freud, 30% of how you see yourself is based on how people around you view you and make you feel. Okay, so you need to surround yourself with people who uplift you. If people around you are constantly criticizing you, you're going to start believing it. If people around you are constantly uplifting you, on the other hand, you're going to believe that. And this is exactly why your circle matters. Because bad company, they're going to reinforce your limiting beliefs. They're going to reinforce those negative things that you say to yourself. They're going to make you believe that it's true. Bad company keeps you small because they criticize your growth. Anytime you improve, they put you down. You can't do that. You're not good enough to do that. Who are you to be doing this? Who are you to be running that business? Who are you to open a business? You can't do that. You'll never be successful, right? They gossip about you behind your back. They stab you in the back. They drain your energy. Okay? On the contrary, good company, people who are positive, they're going to uplift you. They're going to support you. They're going to tell you that you can and that you will and you're going to make it and you have everything you need. You're competent. Okay? They celebrate your wins. They'll go through the inconveniences to help you. Okay? They want to see you succeed. They protect your honor even when you're not there. Okay, that's why there's a hadith, the Prophet ﷺ, he said that solitude is better than bad company, but good company is better than solitude. Okay, and what this means is that if you don't have good company, then you'd rather be alone. That's when you'd rather be by yourself. Okay, because being alone is better than being with people who are going to drag you down. Right, so you've got to protect your energy. This is what the Prophet ﷺ was teaching. Is that protect your energy from negativity, okay? But on the other hand, you also have to seek out good company, right? Because good company is better than being alone, okay? You need people who uplift you. You're going to upgrade your identity much, much faster when you have the right people around you, okay? You need a garden. You can't do this alone. The lone sheep gets eaten by the wolf. Right? It's easier. You're more vulnerable. You're spiraling in your head. It's easier for those negative thoughts to fester in your mind when you're by yourself and there's nobody there to be like, no, absolutely not. What are you talking about? You look beautiful. You look great in that dress. What are you talking about? It's so flattering, right? Like, people are going to put you up. The right people, positive people are going to tell you that you can. Okay. So what are signs of good company? How can you tell, okay, is this person this positive person for me? Because some people can fake it, right? They can fake that applause and be like, oh yeah, we're so happy for you. But really, they can't wait to go gossip about you. Okay, so the signs of good company is that they celebrate your wins without jealousy. Okay, they're not jealous of you. They don't just say, oh, yay, great job. But then they're like, how much is she making? I wonder if she's really going to sustain this, right? Like, they're kind of waiting for you to fail just so that they can feel better about themselves, right? Whereas a positive person, a good friend, they will celebrate your wins without the jealousy. Like, they really want it. Like, your win is their win, okay? They protect your honor when you're not there. They support you even when it's inconvenient for them, right? They don't make a big deal out of it. Like, oh, sorry, yeah, I know you wanted me to watch your kids, but like, I'm kind of feeling tired today, right? Like, those people, like, the excuses will be so stupid. And you're like, oh my gosh, I've never asked you for help. I can't believe that the one time I ask you, you're making such a big deal, or you're saying you're too tired, right? Like, that's a sign the person doesn't really support you, okay? The right person, they're going to support you even when it's inconvenient, okay? Another sign of someone who's positive, a good person to have around you, is that they call you higher. They want to see you rise into a better identity, into a stronger version of you, into a wealthier version of you. Like, they want to see you go high, achieve. Okay, they don't want to keep you small. They reflect back to you your worth. Okay, so that's all signs of good company. Those are the types of people that you want to find, that you want to keep in your circle, that you want to keep close to you. Okay, keep those people close. Reach out to them. Stay close to them. They're valuable. On the other hand, signs of bad company is that they gossip about you to others. Okay, and they gossip about others to you, because chances are, if they're talking bad about others to you, they're talking bad about you to others too. All right. Number 2, they belittle your dreams. When you talk about your dreams, they're like, you should be humble. This dunya is not for riches. We just want to focus on Allah. Da, da, da. They're making you feel guilty for wanting more. Okay, they belittle your dreams as if you're never going to achieve them, even if they don't even say it. But when you share your dreams with them, like, you feel inside like, wait, maybe I can't. Maybe it is unrealistic. Maybe I am dreaming too big, right? Like, you're feeling that because their energy is exuding that. So they belittle your dreams. They're jealous of your success. They don't want you to succeed in real life. They only show up when they need something. That's when they'll reach out to you, because they want to ask you for something, okay? And they drain your energy. Like, when you're not with them, then you feel like you have to decompress from having been with them for so long, right? Like, after being with them, you'll need like a day or 2 off, And a lot of people think they're introverts. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm just an introvert. Like, after I'm with people, I feel so drained and like I have to just be alone for a week. But you might not be an introvert. Like, I thought I was an introvert pretty much my whole life until very, very recently, like in the last few years, because in the last few years, I realized that I'm not actually introverted. It's just that I was with bad company. Like, I was with people who drained my energy, who made me feel small, and they were energy suckers. And so, yes, when I was not around them, I was like, oh my gosh, I can breathe, right? Like, I'm an introvert. I don't like people. But it's just that I was in the wrong rooms. So remember, solitude is better than bad company. And good company is better than solitude. So choose your circle carefully, because 30% of how you see yourself comes from them, right? And upgrading your identity requires upgrading your circle. Okay, if you want to level up, you cannot do it with the same people who knew you at your lowest, the people who knew you as your old identity, because they're going to keep seeing you as you used to be, not who you're becoming. Okay, and this doesn't mean that you abandon everybody from your past, okay? That's not what I'm saying, okay? But it does mean that you might need to create some distance as you're rising, as you're just starting to build your life, your dream life, as you're starting to upgrade. You might need some distance from those people, because it's quite possible that they're going to keep you feeling small, okay? But you want to make sure also that you're distancing yourself from the people who are keeping you stuck, which is why awareness and intuition is so critical at this point. Okay, and this is why community matters, because you need to have sisters who are on the same path as you. Okay, and the Heartful community exists for this reason, because we're all becoming her together. If you want to upgrade your identity, you need to upgrade your circle. You can't level up with people who keep seeing you as you were. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about is your authentic self. So I've heard a lot of women tell me they don't know who they are. Like, if I ask them, who are you authentically? They're like, I don't know. I don't know the authentic me because I've never been her. Okay? But getting in touch with your authentic self includes accepting your shadow side. Okay? And not being embarrassed of it, not trying to hide it. Okay? Accepting all of yourself. The good, the bad, the crazy, the woo-woo, right? All the different parts of you, accepting all of it, okay? And once you're able to get to a point where you've accepted yourself, whether you're loud or you're funny or, I don't know, you like to joke a lot, maybe you fart while you laugh, right? I don't know what it is, but whatever your shadow side is, whatever the quirky side of you is, right? Just accepting that and being your authentic self, that is the most vibrant version of you. And everybody has a shadow side, parts of you that you hide, parts that you're ashamed of, right? Maybe it's the music that you like listening to. Maybe there are parts of yourself that you think that are too much or things that make you not enough. Okay, but your shadow side includes, yes, your funniness and your silliness, but also your anger, your sadness, your deepest, darkest desires, right? Your flaws, your socially unacceptable parts. Okay, your shadow includes all of that. All your emotions that you've been trying to suppress. Okay, and what most people do is they hide these versions of themselves. They hide these parts of themselves. They suppress it. They pretend that it doesn't exist. They try to be perfect. But what happens when you keep doing this is that you become flat. You lose your spark. You become a performance, not a person. Okay, and so how do we shift from the fake version of ourselves, the mask that we're putting on for other people, and become authentic? The first thing is accepting your shadow, okay? Own it, live it, don't hide it, okay? And it doesn't mean just act on every impulse, go into a rage, be rude or harmful to others, be harsh, or using your shadow side as an excuse for bad behavior, okay? I'm not saying any of that. But what I am saying is to acknowledge all parts of you, okay? Not to pretend to be something that you're not. If you're angry about something, you'll say it, right? Be real, not perfect. Because when you accept your shadows, you accept all of your emotions, right? The anger, the rage, the sadness, right? Sometimes you'll feel really, really sad about something, and then you'll feel guilty for being sad. Like, oh, am I just ungrateful? Okay? But when you do that, okay, now you're losing your vibrance. You lose your vibrance when you shut down parts of yourself, okay? When you accept your shadow, when you accept all of you, that's when you become whole. That's when you stop performing. And that's when you become magnetic, because authenticity nowadays is rare. Okay, most people are hiding. Most people, they have a mask on. Most people are performing. So when you can be real, yes, the fake people will be uncomfortable, but hey, you will attract your people. They will come to you much faster, right? So don't shrink or change for anybody, because the right people, they're going to love all of you. The wrong people are going to leave. Okay, and that is a gift. That's a gift. You want those people around you who accept all of you. And your authentic self is the most vibrant version of you. Okay, and your authentic self is not the polished version or the acceptable version of you. It's the real you. And everybody has a shadow side. So accept it, own it, live it. Don't hide or shrink for anybody. Your authentic self is the most vibrant, radiant, heartful version of you that exists. And authenticity is, yes, in the way that you carry yourself and the way that you show up for others, but it's also in the way that you dress. So dress nice to elevate your aura, to show your authenticity. And this is not vanity. Okay, when you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, your energy shifts. People respond to that energy, and dress is part of it. Okay, so dress femininely. Put effort into your appearance, not for others, but for you. You are watching. Even your kids watch how you dress, and they see that when you dress nice, they understand it as self-respect, and they start respecting you too. Because how you present yourself affects how you feel about yourself and how other people feel about you too. Okay, dressing nice is self-respect. It's honoring the body that Allah gave you. It's honoring the life that Allah gave you. Dressing nicely is showing up as your best self. It's treating yourself with dignity. All right, sister, let's recap. First, you can't pour love into others when you are running on self-hatred. Happy mothers raise healthier kids, and joyful wives have better marriages. Radiant women give the best dawah. Secondly, the words that you say to yourself are a spell. Your brain listens and obeys. The Prophet ﷺ never insulted himself because a believer has dignity. Third, your inner voice might not be yours. It's the voice of everybody who belittled you, but you get to now choose a new voice. Fourth, your words shape your energy. What you say to yourself becomes apparent in your aura. People feel it. Fifth, surround yourself with people who uplift you. 30% of your self-concept comes from your circle. Bad company? Be alone. Good company? Essential. Sixth, accept your shadow side and be authentic. Your real self is the most vibrant version of you. So never shrink for anybody. Okay, this is Module 3, the leaves. Listening to your inner wisdom, honoring your authentic self. And if you're ready to do this work with sisters who get it, the Heartful community is waiting for you. Join for free and get weekly masterclasses every Sunday at 3 p.m. EST. There's a free resource library with guides, downloads, and tools. It's a space to connect with other Muslim women who are on the same journey. Upgrade to the full membership for 47 Canadian dollars a month and unlock the complete 8-module Heartful Awakening Plant course, daily Heartful Majalis from Monday to Friday live gatherings, Saturday Garden Majalis, which is a Q&A with me. You got 365 I am her stories of Muslim foremothers, Sahabiyat, righteous women of the past, and you get to enjoy a sisterhood that witnesses your transformation. Join for free at community.heartfulmuslimah.com. You don't have to do this alone. The lone sheep gets eaten by the wolf. So join us in the garden. If this episode resonated, share it with a sister who needs to hear it. And remember, the words that you say to yourself are a spell. Your brain listens and obeys. So speak to yourself the way that Allah speaks about you, with love, with honor, and with dignity. You are chosen. You are worthy. You are her.